we're at war. Let me put on the war music. We are at war. Yeah, buddy. You know you didn't fucked up, right? Amin Ra Squad versus Chief X. You know you didn't fucked up, right? See, you done made me turn up the heat. I know you're watching. It's about to get hot in the motherfucking kitchen. They tried me today. They had a 5-hour stream about little old Chief X. 3, 4, 5 people teaming up on me. I said I need to practice some self-defense, right? I called on the military. I had to dig deep in the crates, and I called on the ancestors, right? And this is what I want to let y'all know. 1 second. 1 second.
You want answers? I think I'm entitled. You want answers? I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
God damn it, you can't handle the motherfucking truth. Say it again, Jack Nicholson.
You want answers? I think I'm entitled. You want answers? I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
You goddamn right. You goddamn right, Jack Nicholson. Hold on, y'all. I'm coming. So, 1 second, let me get my tablet hooked up. Cause a bunch of pseudos is about to start crying. Spears are flying. And this just ain't your normal spear. This ain't your normal dagger. This ain't your normal blade. I got this specifically made in Ghana. You see these jagged edges? When I stick this in and pull it out, lifeless. So I had to come with the sickle of death for the Amin Ra squad. And we're going to put them in the dirt today. See, they was all high-fiving and high-signing on me today. Check this out. Can y'all hear me? Hit number 1 before I go too far. I'm in battle scholarship mode. Hold on. We're going to get this shit together. Okay? Because I'm sick of it. As I always say, because I'm sick of it. Let me get to my page so I can see my comments. In 1 second. All right. So they tried to ambush me today and didn't respect my wishes. Right? People keep saying, oh, Chief, don't nobody pay attention to you. Don't nobody think about you. And at the same time they saying this, they're streaming about me for 5 hours today. And it takes a team to tackle little old me. Right? So, thank you for the ones, y'all. So, since it takes a team to handle me, I had to bring the military. I had to bring the sickle of death. I had to bring the ancestors with me from West Central Africa, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. What else I had to do is, I had to bring this 5-shot revolver on my hip. In case a motherfucker jump out the tree on me, I'm gonna be ready. I said, these people are coming for me. Let me put my shit on my motherfucking hip and pull out on these motherfuckers if they try something. Y'all got to excuse me. I got the gun on the hip today. And we at war. And what they say, I'm going to kill 3 birds with 1 stone. With a little bitty 5-shot revolver. While these cats got AK-47s and shit. All kind of machinery and shit. And little old Chief X, all he got is a 5-shot revolver on his motherfucking hip. And he's gonna win this battle war. See, I'm trying to entertain right now and talk a little shit. Bear with me, y'all. I don't want to be boring like Annie Hedrick, a.k.a. Sean. I didn't want to be boring like him, so I said, let me give y'all a little entertainment. But that's real. See, like Jack Nicholson said, you can't handle the truth. Y'all done put me in all-out battle scholarship mode. See, what I was trying to do is save some daggers just in case somebody got froggy and jumped and wanted to test me in a debate. I was going to pull out that shit and just melt and burn the motherfucking house down. Napalm, motherfuckers. You understand me? So, today, what's happening is Smash Rockwell went live today. And I guess the video I made last night triggered a few people because it was potent. It was some profound things said that triggered people. What's up, Dwight, man? And they had to go and put the team together to come against me. Oh, we don't listen and pay attention to Chief X. And every day, they're streaming about me. But it's okay. Just admit you do follow Chief X. You do watch his shit, and it triggers you. She veganistas and my animal euphemisms. So, the ancestors is with me. On top of that, I'm feeling good. I started working out again 2 days ago because I had fell off for the last 6 months. I said, let me get, you see my dip bar back here? That's my dip bar. I said, let me get back on my dip bar because niggas talking shit, right? And I've been on my dip bar doing my motherfucking thing. Get my chest back out. Bam! 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 So I broke out the dip bar. I said, let me get ready. And you gotta get in shape. And it's about mind, body, and soul. And I said, I'm gonna get my shit together because little bitty niggas is talking shit. I know I'm a little bitty niggas, but I fuck with big niggas. I've never fought nobody my size. Yeah, I'm a cocky motherfucker. Yeah. Okay, check this out. Let's start up like this. Let me just run down what happened today. Enough clowning. So they went live about me today, trying to debunk some of my claims and show everybody that Chief X is wrong and what have you. But the thing about it is, they botched up my claims, so they're having a 5-hour stream based off a fake fucking narrative. I'm like, who are they talking about? I never said that. They're claiming I said there was never any black people in Egypt. Now, everyone knows Chief X has never said that. I said the Egyptians are not black. Then I went on and did a 5-hour presentation showing Nubians, black people in Egypt, doing business in processions, paying homage. I showed Nubians all up in Rome and Greece. I showed images of how the Greco-Roman world, the Mediterranean world, and the ancient Egyptians, how they depicted what they considered black folk or Nubians or sub-Saharan Africans. Did you fucking forget that? Do you have to lie, cheat, and steal to defeat me? You will lie, cheat, and steal just so you can be ancient Egyptians or related to them in some form or fashion. I keep telling you, have to lie to defeat me. Hey, sweetie, I'm on a live stream. I'm going to call you back. All right. Okay. So, people got to get all out of character and all out of pocket to even get close to touching me. Because I've shut this thing down already. But I see I have to respond and close the motherfucking door again. Okay? My claim one more time before I spank these gentlemen and kill 3 birds with 1 stone. I said the Egyptians are not fucking black. I also made a later claim some weeks later and said that there has never been a black kinky-haired tribe or nation that set up camp in North Africa, Caucasus, the Near East, and migrated to an empty land, and their culture was born there. I said North Africa has never been black Africa, ever. is my point. And I said, name these tribes. Smash Rockwell's the only one who tried. And this Negro said the Colchians. I fell out my chair laughing. The Colchians. Like, you never came back after I showed you they wasn't the Colchians, Smash. Right? So, when I mean is a people who is indigenous to that land. What you mean by indigenous, Chief X? Meaning a people come to a lot in life and find their place. They discover empty fucking barren land through their migration and say, hell, this is a nice area to set up fucking camp and settle down. And our culture is born here. Like the Native Americans, when they came in through the Bering Strait, through Alaska, down into Canada, down into the North America, down into Mexico, and down into Brazil and the Caribbean islands, which is the Western fucking hemisphere. And they came to a land that was empty and barren. And they set up camp there. And their culture was born. That's what the fuck I mean. So the Native Americans is indigenous to the Western Hemisphere. Okay? Get it straight. That's what the fuck I mean. Okay. So since they botched up my argument, everything they said from start to finish is wrong and off. But I'm going to give them a pass, and I'm going to work with them this time. I'm going to work with these three so-called scholars as a non-scholar, just your brother who likes to talk about history and have discussions, is about to spank, bring the sickle of death along their head, and I'm going to intellectually castrate these cats tonight. I know you're listening, Wu Jaru. I said it that time, Wu Jaru. Wu Jiao. Bobby Banger, who changed his name from Ankh because Chief X was banging on Ankh so goddamn hard, beating him down so goddamn hard, he had to change his Egyptian fucking name and drop Ankh and be Bobby Banger. I put this Negro in submission, is what I did. And Smash Rockwell, a.k.a. Jonathan, I'm trying to think of the last name, Jonathan Owens, who I actually like. So, Jonathan, I don't want you to get this twisted, and I know you watching too. This is L.A., not the Bay, but L.A. loves the Bay. I know you watching. I actually personally, outside of this bullshit we talking about, I personally like you, bro. Just want to let you know that. And I don't have no beef with you. But you didn't put yourself in the fucking crosshairs. And I have to lay you guys down and put you in the fucking coffin. Bobby Banger is about to get banged on. What y'all say? You know how we did it back in the day? Sarah Susan said, we called it, what you say today, Smash Rockwell? Just like the rap battles, I'm not a rapper, but we're going to have some battle scholarship tonight. No disrespect to anyone. We're just having fun, and this is shits and giggles. But there is an agenda, and that agenda is to enlighten the people. Right? So, let me go ahead and get started. I want to share my screen. Bam. I want to share my screen because this all started because, oh shit, I have to set this up again. No, I got to set up. This all started, and Smash Rockwell will tell you, because he posted some literature and some writing and some words of this Greek historian Diodorus Siculus. I always fuck up that name. The Greek, pay attention to me, scholar Diodorus Siculus. Now, Diodorus Siculus and Herodotus sometimes get shit wrong and out of context, and you have to be careful and read in between the lines and do better research. So Chief X is going to help you do better research and going to tell the truth, because they think they pulled the wool over your eyes. They tricked you today. They've been tricking you. And when I said that shit was Photoshop, it's kind of what I mean. Smash Rockwell. It's a bullshit depiction. It's basically a meme, or you guys say a meme. Listen up. Let's just talk about how it all got started today. So let me go to the video of Jonathan. Now, it's a little delay. Let me just see if this pops up on my desktop. Excuse me, my tablet. Okay, so this is where it all started. I seen Jonathan, who was doing a lecture or putting together a little mini presentation on his page, right? And I seen this, and first thing I said to myself, this is some motherfucking bullshit. And I said because he cropped a fucking picture. I didn't mince my words. I said he cropped out a picture and placed the picture up under some words of Diodorus Siculus. Now, if I screenshotted this and shared it everywhere, it would be considered a meme. This is why I say, people on Facebook, I'm known for saying, you niggas are meme educated. You guys are picture prone. You're meme educated, and you shouldn't be meme educated. You should be scholastically educated and be able to read sources and understand scholarship and get the fuck away from lookership. It's what Smash Rockwell was doing to your minds right here. Yes, under this writing, there's no picture. So he did crop a picture out of what he is calling an Egyptian, which is not. It's a Nubian. But they just lie, and we will get into this. So he cropped out a picture of a Nubian and put it up under these words and got to talking over it and making up bullshit and lies. That's what the fuck happened, and that's why I said this is bullshit, and I said Photoshop. So now they want to play on words, Photoshop, recreation. Fuck it. It's a meme, it's a Photoshop, it's a recreation, it's some cropped out shit he put together to play a mind game on you. That's my fucking point. Okay? Now, we're going to listen to what he says for 2 minutes. And then I'm going to come back and put the smackdown on this entire bullshit mind game they pulled on you niggas because they think you dumb. Yep, they think you dumb. But since I've been around since 1992, I know better. When I looked at this, I said, oh, here we go. But I didn't go into detail, so you forced my hand for me to go into detail now. You lured me out while I was kicking it in my bed, and I thought you niggas was in your fucking coffin in the dirt already. Here we go.
But it started from this. Someone named Chief X made a video saying that I used a Photoshop reproduction. First of all, this is what pseudos always do. They always only address the drawing in the picture. They always only do that. He never once addressed this quote right here.
Oh, well, we're going to address the quote today.
Never. Not once. And I'm going to go back to the quote from Diodorus Siculus in the 1st century before Christ that states,
not Siculus, Siculus. Let's go.
The majority of them, and especially those who dwell along the river, are black in color and have flat noses and woolly hair. See, that is our problem. Want to know what our problem is? We'll take the word of somebody on YouTube who don't got no other source but Wikipedia over empirical evidence.
Pause. See, I'm also known on Facebook for saying this thing for years. Every time people are getting their ass whooped intellectually, they begin to bash Wikipedia. It never fails. It was a thing that the Abos and the Moors and the Hebrew Israelites used to always do because we used to tear their ass up. And then we may show them a definition in Wikipedia. And here they go having a fucking heart attack after you debunk them. And the only thing left to say is, oh, well, you using Wikipedia. Oh, you using Wikipedia. Wah. And I never thought the day would come when when so-called scholars and science-based people began to bash Wikipedia as if it's fucking wrong. People only bash Wikipedia when you beat that ass. Pay attention for the rest of your life. Okay? Now, continue, Jonathan.
What is empirical evidence? We don't have the opportunity, right, to observe the ancient Egyptians. All we see is mummies. But
he keeps saying the ancient Egyptians. He's calling this person on the bottom right hand of your picture the ancient Egyptians. And he's acting like Diodorus Siculus is talking about these black ancient Egyptians being black in color with flat nose and woolly hair. But continue, Jonathan.
But people had opportunity to observe the ancient Egyptians who never ever thought that this debate would arise. Do you think when Diodorus Siculus wrote his book on history, Book 3, that he thought that it would be some black people in America on YouTube in the year 2000 arguing about the color of ancient Egyptians?
Pause. We got 2 more minutes, and I'm about to kill all this shit. Bear with me.
he was talking to other Greeks who had not had a chance to travel to Egypt yet. I'm still on the same shit I've been on since I entered this damn community. All these dudes are switching up for views. They fake. And then I need to explain to y'all why Ankh is the leader. Because people don't understand how leadership works. And they think it harm their manhood when they in the presence of a true leader, which is Ankh-Ket. And that's why he's addressed as the leader by even his enemies. Because all this shit he been doing before everybody associated. Bobby Banger, my partner, doing this before all y'all. All right?
Pause. He wasn't doing this before Chief fucking X. He wasn't. He wasn't doing it before Chief X. That's the motherfucking problem. You can snow all these other people, but not Chief X. I'm going to bring him back home. Okay? Let's finish up. We got one more minute.
Why won't Chief X or any other people who are against this theory address the empirical evidence presented by Greek historians?
Well, that's just what I'm going to do today, Jonathan. But continue.
Why? Ask yourself that. They want to go to Wiki and pull up all kind of other bullshit. They looked at this photo, called it a photo crop, didn't want to address the words, tried to address the words, and found out that that's what Egyptians called themselves.
Well, isn't that cropped? Isn't that picture cropped up and put next to these words? If anybody think it ain't, they are blind as a motherfucking bat. So yeah, you cropped that picture out somewhere and put it up under these words. But let's continue.
That everything I presented right here was 100% accurate. Who was lying? The opponents to Black Africa.
Now, okay. We all heard Smash Rockwell try to teach us that Diodorus Siculus is calling them people the ancient Egyptians. Well, is that true? No, it's not true. Prove it, Chief X. This is the mind games they do on y'all because they think you're dumb. And you guys need to call them on this and say, why did you do that to us and play us like that? Why did you trick us? And Wujaru knows better, and he's up in this chat. This is my time tonight. You guys had a chance when I came on, but you got all emotional and tried to overtalk me and ambush me and act like you ain't fucked up my motherfucking claims and shit. So, nope, I'm doing my presentation, and I'm putting y'all in the dirt. Wujaru, you know better than this. You know goddamn well that Diodorus Siculus was not talking about no ancient Egyptians. Now you niggas is nervous because you know what's coming next. Let me block that user. Okay, so prove your shit, Chief X. Okay, let's go. Where am I going to first? Okay. He says, why don't I use the empirical evidence of what the Greeks said? Okay. We're going to do that. This is what Diodorus Siculus said, and this is his full writing to give you guys clarity. Since they cropped out these words, woolly hair and this, and trying to play it like they're talking about Egyptians, they were not talking about Egyptians. Diodorus Siculus was talking about Ethiopians. That's why I said that picture is some bullshit. They're trying to make you believe that they're talking about Egyptians by throwing that picture up under there next to the wordings black, flat nose, and woolly hair. So, let's see what Diodorus Siculus, let's just blow this up so we can see. Let's see what Diodorus Siculus says, the Library of History. Let's get it from the horse's mouth, since Smash Rockwell wanted me to use the Greek empirical evidence of them who actually went there and seen it. Ain't that what he said? Okay. Okay, well, hold on. Let me just do this first. Let me just do this first. So you can understand. He says, on the who? The Ethiopians who dwell beyond Libya in their antiquities. Did he say on the Egyptians? No, he said on the Ethiopians who dwell beyond Libya in their antiquities. Lie number one. Why keep saying Egyptians when you, Wujaru, Ankh probably don't know a motherfucking thing, but you and Wujaru know he's speaking of the Ethiopians and those people in sub-Saharan Africa. Prove it, Chief X. Okay, we go down. Whatever I highlighted probably went away. Okay. Let me find it. Okay, here we go. Let me get right to it. Hold on, bear with me. So I just want people to see. So I blew it up a little bit. Now I got to scroll back down. Okay, here we go. There we go. It says under what Smash has, who dwell, especially those, he's talking about Ethiopians, especially those who dwell along the river, are black in color and have flat nose and woolly hair. He's talking about the Ethiopian, not the Egyptian. I don't understand why they just blatantly lie and play this mind game on you in this picture game. And then it goes on to speak about these people, the Ethiopians, which are sub-Saharan Africans. It goes on to say, as for their spirit, they are entirely savage and display the nature of a wild beast. Not so much, however, in their... He just clowning these motherfuckers. As in their spirit, they are entirely savage. These Ethiopians, these sub-Saharan Africans, okay? And display the nature of a wild beast. Not so much, however, in their temper as in their ways of living. For they are squalid all over their bodies, and they keep their nails long like the wild beast, and are as far removed as possible from human kindness to one another. He's basically saying they are wretched and vile people. This is the Greeks talking about sub-Saharan Africans, aka Ethiopians, not Egyptians. Okay? He's not calling Egyptians people with woolly hair. Since people are on this hair thing, Chief X worried about hair. Well, goddamn, this empirical evidence that he wanted me to look from Diodorus Siculus, he's mentioning fucking hair. What else is he mentioning? Flat noses, black in color. Oh, there's no black. They didn't recognize color back then. Black is just a social construct. They didn't know. They didn't care. They didn't recognize it. What Diodorus Siculus did, he said they are black in color and have flat nose and woolly hair. Just like who else said that? Chief X said that about the sub-Saharan Africans. And I said that because North Africans do not have woolly hair and are not as what he is describing. He never described the Egyptians as their spirit. They are entirely savage and display the nature of a wild beast. He's not talking about Egyptians. Why are y'all lying? He's not talking about their temper as in their ways of living, for they are squalid all over their bodies and keep their nails long like wild beasts. This is what they said about the sub-Saharan Africans, and they were being uncivilized and as far removed as possible from human kindness to one another, and speaking as they do with a shrill in their voice, and cultivating none of the practices of civilized life. God damn, they're uncivilized, he's trying to say. And that these are found among the rest of mankind, they present a striking contrast when considered in the light of their own customs. And then he goes on to describe them just like Nubians are. As for their arms, some of them use shields of raw oxhide and short spears. The spears of the Maasai, the 9 bows, them Nubians, and others javelins. The spears, the 9 bows they're referring to, slinging thong and sometime what? Bows of wood. The 9 bows, the Nubians. What? Talk black to me. Ask them niggas why they lied to you. Why they lie on Diodorus Siculus, and why they lying to you. Why they fucked that picture up and mind game you. Oh, we ain't finished tonight. I told you, anytime you come for Chief X, it will backfire. Okay? 4 cubits in length with which they shoot which they shoot by putting their foot against them, and after their arrows, the 9 bows, the Nubians, okay, are exhausted, they finish the fight with wooden clubs. They also arm their women, setting an age limit for their service, and most of these observe the custom of wearing a bronze ring in the lip. Got rings in their lip and shit. You know who got rings in their lip? The ancient Egyptians don't have bronze rings in their lips. They're talking about the Nubian. Diodorus Siculus is talking about those sub-Saharan black nappy-headed people who is below and south of Egypt. Why did these niggas lie to you? As for clothing, he says. As for clothing, certain of them wear none. You know how they walk around naked? With a loincloth. As for clothing, certain of them wear none whatsoever, going naked all their life, and making for themselves of whatever comes to hand a rude protection from the heat alone. Others cutting off the tails and the ends of the hides of their sheep, cover their loins with them, loincloths, and putting the tail before them to screen after a manner and shameful part. And some make use of the skins of their domestic animals, how they wear leopard skins and shit. While there are those who cover their bodies as far as the waist with shirts, which they weave of hair, since their sheep do not produce wool by reason of the peculiar nature of the land. It was a peculiar nature of that land in the fucking desert. Okay? So now we know they lied because who? Diodorus Siculus was talking about Ethiopians, or AKA sub-Saharan Africans, not no goddamn Egyptians. So when they put that picture up under them words, they played you. And call them niggas on that and tell them to apologize to you. Niggas will lie, cheat, and steal just to be an Egyptian. And that's just exactly what the fuck they did. Okay? Now, we're going to continue because I see some people ain't happy. They making up shit and wiggling all in the motherfucking chat. You got to be careful because that Wujaro Irimayat guy, he's a magician. He's a word magician. Be careful. Listen to me. Pay attention to Chief X. I got your back. Wujaro don't have your back. Wujaro is trying to make Egypt black because he is concerned with color. Look at his logo. He's concerned with color. Look at his books and the characters on there. He's concerned with color. He makes them black. Okay, so let me shut this down. Now that we know that Diodorus Siculus is talking about the Ethiopian. Now, who is the Ethiopian, Chief X? I told you, dumb motherfuckers, who the fuck the Ethiopians was. I said the Greeks called the black people all of Africa below the Sahara or below Libya. Listen to my wording. Below Libya or below the Sahara or below Egypt, they considered them Ethiopians. Anybody with black, nappy, woolly, kinky hair. Let's go. Show us, Chief X. Okay. Ethiopia. Let's go see. Can you fucking read? Ethiopia. Okay. Also see what? Ethiopia. It's just the same thing, just in Greek and shit, right? Here we go. The inhabited world, according to Herodotus. Libya, I said. Remember, listen to my words. Africa. So sometimes Libya was used as a word for Africa too. So Libya and Ethiopia, the Greeks sometimes used to refer to Africa or sub-Saharan Africa, right? So Libya, Africa is imagined as extending no further south than the Horn of Africa, terminating in the uninhabitable desert. The Fertile Nile Valley is Egypt. They're talking about here the desert. Okay? All peoples inhabiting the southernmost fringes of the inhabitable world, known as what? Ethiopians, after what? They're dark-skinned. I need y'all to see. At the extreme southeast. Extreme south. They're not talking about Egypt. Because Egypt weren't considered dark, woolly hair, flat-nosed people to the Greeks, to the Mediterranean world, to the Romans, to every motherfucker except you conscious community clowns. Okay? Let me make this smaller again so we can continue this spanking. Okay? Here we go. Etymology. The Greek name Ethiopia is a compound derivative of Greek words. You know, they say burnt face, burn face. According to the Perseus Project, this designation properly translates in a noun form of burnt face. The Egyptians aren't burnt face. So the Greeks aren't referring to the Egyptians. Smash Rockwell and Wujaru played you niggas. So I'm here to help you and get you out the cult. And an adjectival form as red or brown. Listen and remember, I said red and brown. Because they also called Ethiopians some Egyptians that lived by Aswan who were dark-skinned. So if you were a dark-skinned person, you were simply called an Ethiopian to the Greeks. Remember what I'm saying right now, okay? As such, it was used as a vague term for dark-skinned populations. Dark-skinned populations are sub-Saharan Africans in the world of academia and in the ancient world. Since the time of fucking Homer, the term was applied to such peoples when within the range of observation, the ancient geographers, primarily what was then, what? Nubia! That's who Diodorus Siculus was talking about. That's who the Greek was talking about. Hey, Smash, you told me go to the empirical sources of the Greeks. So I'm going to what the Greeks said right now and proving you wrong. Any other way you want me to go, I can prove it too. Okay? They're talking about fucking Nubians in what? Ancient fucking Sudan, you fucking liars. With the expansion of geographical knowledge, the exonym successfully extended to certain areas below the Sahara. Like Chief X said. Okay, let's continue. Before Herodotus, right? No, I'm sorry. Let's not go here. Let's go here. In Herodotus, what did this Greek motherfucker say? In history, Herodotus presents some of the most ancient and detailed information about Ethiopia. He relates that he personally traveled up and down the Nile to the what? Borders of Egypt as far as Elephantine, which is what? Modern day Aswan, where the dark people are. Right next to Nubia. This who the Greeks is talking about, you liars. They weren't talking about the Egyptians. In his view, Ethiopia is all the inhabited land found to the what? south of Egypt. Not Egypt, but to the south of Egypt. Beginning at Elephantine, which is what? Modern day Aswan. What's by Aswan? The first cataract. What is a cataract? A natural border preventing Egyptians' enemies from entering. Preventing Nubians from entering and running wild up in there because they thought Nubians, Ethiopians, was wild people with woolly hair, flat noses, and thick lips. Talk black to me. Chief X is never wrong, or I'll say I'm wrong. I'm not going to hold up no fight with you niggas when I know I'm wrong. I'm going to say, you know what, I was wrong, excuse me. I'm the honest guy, okay? In his view, Ethiopia is all the inhabited land found south of Egypt, beginning at Elephantine. He describes the capital at Meroe, adding that the only deities worshipped was Zeus and blah, 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 blah. Egyptians, okay, here we go. Reign of pharaohs, Pasakame. Many Egyptian soldiers deserted their country and settled amidst the Ethiopians. Not amongst themselves. They settled amidst them because they was about to bang on them. And let's get to that. So, we are clear now on what Diodorus Siculus actually meant and who he was talking about. We're clear on the Ethiopians are what? Let's just show it here. Let's just show it here. Ancient Ethiopia, right? Hold on, because I didn't show this. I forgot something. One second. One second. Let me get to it and show you. Okay, here we go. Just to be clear. Just to be fucking clear on who the fucking Ethiopians and who the Greeks meant. Okay? Hold on. Did I pass it? Hold on, we're gonna move on. Let me just find this one motherfucking thing. Hold on, let me make it smaller because it's hard to see that way. Okay. I got to stick this dagger in a little deeper real quick. Hold on. Okay, here we go. Oh, you see, huh? Oh, you can see now, huh? What did he say? What did he say? And the Greek historian Herodotus specifically uses the appellation to refer to such parts of what? Sub-Saharan Africa. That's what they're talking about. Okay? I'm right. They lied to you. And they twisted it up. They put a picture next to some words and threw your mind off and tried to tell you that was a Nubian, excuse me, a Egyptian, and it's really a Nubian. Well, go ahead and double down, Chief X, and put another nail in the coffin. No problem. No problem. Oh, wait a minute. I'm slipping. We is not finished. We is not finished here. Let me go down here. Bear with me. let's just go to where it says, since you just want me to go to the Greeks who may have been there or went there and who was there, and that they're the empirical evidence, as you say, Smash. Let's just go to some more. What? Other Greco-Roman historians, it says. The Egyptian priest Manetho listed what? Okay, just like I'm saying. Egyptian priest Manetho listed what? The Kushite 25th dynasty, calling it the what? Ethiopian dynasty. Can you blind niggas see the truth? Where's it at? The Egyptian priest Manetho listed the Kushite dynasty, which is the 25th dynasty, the only dynasty every academic in the entire world calls the Black Pharaohs. The Black Pharaohs in the entire world of academia is the 25th dynasty. No other dynasty do they call the Black Pharaohs. And these Greeks are calling the Kushite dynasty the Ethiopian dynasty. The Ethiopian are the ones with what? Woolly hair, flat noses, and thick lips. That's who Diodorus Siculus was talking about. The Nubians and them people south of Egypt. Them Neolithics, whether they was Neolithics, whether they were Nubians, or whether they was mixed Ethiopians of today Abyssinia, that's what they call people below Libya or below the Sahara. So you're going to have to argue with the empirical evidence, not Chief X. Chief X is only stating things in consensus with the academic community is saying. And I'm beating the brakes off of you guys. The Kushite 25th dynasty, right here in your face, is called the Ethiopian dynasty. They knew who black people were. They knew who nappy-headed niggas was, and they couldn't stand them. So when I made that video 6 months ago, and I said the Egyptians hated black people, I knew what the fuck I was talking about. Okay. Let's go on further down. Let me make this. We're going to put some more daggers in the chest. Okay? Moreover, when the Hebrew Bible was translated to Greek, the Hebrew appellation Kushite became in Greek Ethiopia, Ethiopians, appearing as Ethiopia, Ethiopians in the English King James Bible. Even the fucking Bible backs me. Academia backs Chief X. The Bible backs Chief X. And the only people on the planet Earth who think different is Wu Jiao and Smash Rockwell, who are not credentialed in this field to be teaching these lies. They are not degreed in this. They are freelancing just like everyone listening to me. You can read a book just like they can read a book. You can Google something just like they can Google something. They are no different than you. They can fool you, but not me. I'm the wise man who beats the brakes off of scholars, like I always say. Because I use that common sense science. I told you niggas it was a fucking science. It's my science I made up, and it's a goddamn science. It's Chief X science. It's common sense science. Fuck you talking about? Y'all niggas had this spanking coming, and we ain't through. Let's go down here and see. Black people in ancient Roman history Romans was concerned with color. Greeks was concerned with color. Y'all are concerned with color. I'm concerned with color. Stop lying and fronting like you ain't. Okay, black people in ancient Roman history, it says. And guess who this cat is? A black person to them. Right? In classical antiquity, Greek and Roman writers were acquainted with people of every skin tone, from very pale, association. Let me just blow this up so you niggas can see. In classical antiquity, Greek and Roman writers were acquainted with people of every skin tone, from very pale, associated with populations from the Scythia, to very dark, associated with populations from what? Sub-Saharan Africa. And then they have Ethiopia next to it. Can you see? Can you see? Why didn't Wujaro and Smash teach y'all this? Because they want you to think the ancient Egyptians was black, nappy-headed, woolly people. When I told your black ass that was the Nubian. Okay? People describe with words meaning what? Black. Or as Ethiops. Can you see, or do I need to blow this fucking up? I know who the Ethiopians are to Greeks and Romans. You should have known who they were. And then you wouldn't have been fooled by Wujaro and Smash Rockwell and Ankh today. Are occasionally mentioned throughout the empire in surviving writings of people with very dark skin and what woolly hair are depicted in various artistic modes. So if you niggas had seen my presentation called Black Egypt Debunked, you would have seen that I already went over this. I already said the Greeks, the Romans, the Mediterranean world, and the Egyptians all together as a team depicted black, nappy-headed people a certain way all the fucking time. They were not confused. The Egyptians were not woolly. See, I was going to save all this shit for when I really had a debate, and I was just going to kill it in front of thousands. You better be glad I pulled all this out now. Because I didn't save you a bunch of embarrassment in front of thousands of people. Now you can just respond on your own or act like you don't see this shit. Okay? Other words for the people with other skin tones were also used. Skin tones didn't carry, okay? So let's just get out of here and put some more daggers in you. Shit. I can go all day long spanking y'all. I got stamina. I got intellectual stamina. I'm not a wise man for no reason. See, wise men see through bullshitters. Okay? It's just so much more. I can just go on right here, but I'm going to just skip a few things and get to some nitty-gritty. Okay? You guys I tell you every time, when you call my motherfucking name, you just committed suicide. I'll end your career. The Hotep hustle is going to end in 2022, and I'm going to see to it. You guys going to leave them Coptic peoples, them Egyptian peoples, them Berber peoples, them North African peoples, them Arab peoples, you gonna leave they shit alone and get your motherfucking ass back to Ethiopia. Okay, where are you going next? So this is okay. Let me just move on to this. Okay. Now, who is this individual that Smash Rockwell has on the bottom right hand of this fucking cropped out picture placed on here and made into a fucking meme? In line on this Diodorus Siculus, the Greek. When he knows Diodorus Siculus, when he was talking about black in color and have flat noses and woolly hair, that Diodorus Siculus was talking about sub-Saharan Africans that were along the river below Aswan, below Egypt. And we're going to place them right between the first and second cataract, and I'll get to that in a minute. I'm nailing you guys specifically down tonight. Okay? So when he did this, look at the picture on the bottom right. Let's go see who that really is, because it's not a fucking Egyptian. It's a Nubian. And stop being disrespectful. Here we go. Where is it at? This is who he's showing in that bottom picture. The exact fucking picture. Is actually 4 of them, but here's just 2 of them. I guess to get detail, you got to get a closer picture in the year what? 1996. The picture was taken. Let me show you. The picture was taken in 1996 by how Smash kept saying these Germans, they know their shit. Shaka Amos always talking about Germans know Egypt better than anybody. Get them German books. Them books be $300-$400. These are $1,000 books from them Germans. They know Egypt. So this picture was taken by who? Guess what? A fucking German. In 1996, the image was taken. Okay? And what does it say they are? Nubians in the 5th hour of the Book of Gates and the Tomb of Ramses. Does it say Egyptians? Does it say Asiatics? Does it say Libyans? No, it says Nubians. Image number 12503. And that's who those pictures are. They are not Egyptians. Now, people have gotten fancy and found a way to pontificate away this truth. Clearly says, who says they're Nubians? The entire world of academia at the American University. Hold on. Right here. So you can see the source and where it's at. This project is brought to you by the American Research Center in Egypt. But you niggas want to listen to Wujaro and Smash Rockwell. For one, Wujaro has never been to Egypt. He don't have a credential in this. And you're going to believe him over the American Research Center in Egypt and who they said the fuck it was? In partnership with who else? The American University in Cairo Egyptology department. The Egyptology department at the American University of Cairo says that they're Nubian. Who you gonna believe? A nigga from the Bay who's a rapper named Smash Rockwell? Wujaru, who never been to Egypt? Who don't have an education in Egyptology, except being self-educated and winging it and lying to you about what he winged? Or are you going to believe the American University in Cairo Egyptology department? Call them. It says contact them right here. If they're wrong, when you click on contact, here you go. The Theban Mapping Project, a project of the American Research Center in Egypt. Contact them. Prove them wrong, write them, say, hey, there's a mistake here, and here's why the mistake. Why didn't you niggas do that? I wrote them. I put in my name, my last name, my email address, and my subject matter. I wrote a message right here, and I questioned them, about Remit and Remetch and all that shit. And I know that if RMT is alone, it means people are mankind. If it doesn't say RMT after it, they're not talking about Egyptians. They're just talking about mankind. But we'll get to that later. Oh, I wrote them. Waiting on an email back. And when I show the results, you guys will cry and cry again. So any big bad motherfucker who think that this university, these scholars, and every scholar in academia is wrong, why don't your big bad ass challenge them and write them and contact them? Show them the correction so they can correct themselves. But guess what? Every Egyptologist on the planet Earth has co-signed it already. Every Egyptologist that's been to this Theban Mapping Project in sight and visited the tomb co-signs it. So you want me to say the entire world of academia is wrong except Bobby Banger, Wujaru, and Smash Rockwell. The entire world of academia is wrong except Bobby Banger, a nigga from Baltimore streets. A rap artist named Smash Rockwell, and a former Nuwapian who went to the ends with Dr. York, carried his books to fucking court, and was Dr. York's paralegal. Basically, the paralegal of a man who has the biggest child molestation case in the history of the United States of America, Dr. York. I'm supposed to believe a nigga who went to court with him as his paralegal, carrying his fucking books. A Nuwapian nigga. A mulatto Nuwapian at that. Think about this shit. A Nuwapian, a crazed Baltimorean named Bobby Banger, and a former rapper out the Bay named Smash Rockwell. You got to be pulling my motherfucking leg. Huh? Check this out, family. Let's go. Let me finish putting these cats in the dirt, and all they stupid ass yes men followers who don't know something. Now, in the tomb of Ramses, where the entire world calls what Smash Rockwell called this dude Egyptian on the bottom right and lied to you. But the entire world of academia says no, these are Nubians. And guess what else? In the fifth hour, and I don't know why Withdrawal don't teach you this. I don't know why he hides this type of shit from you when he already knows. Check this out. In the fifth hour of the Book of Gates are only 3 types of mankind. Listen to my wording. In the fifth hour of the Book of Gates are 3 types of mankind. Mankind means Remit. Now, Remit has several types of meaning depending on what context. If the context is Remit in Kemet, then that means people of Kemet or people of Egypt, meaning Egyptians or Cometians. So like if I say the people of Texas, their name is not people. They're called Texans. If I say the people of Los Angeles, they're Los Angelinos. So if I say the people of Kemet, they're Cometians. The people of Egypt, they're Egyptians. Common sense science. Now, back to this, Nubians. No, if you just see Kemet, they could just be talking about mankind in that reference. Or some say it may be an anomaly or an error. It's only 2 options, anomaly, error, or it simply means mankind. That's it. I'll go with mankind. Or you can just play a fucking guessing game for the rest of your life. Okay, so in the fifth hour of the Book of Gates, they have the Nubians in the fifth hour of the Book of Gates. Guess who else they have? The Asiatics in the fifth hour in the Book of Gates. And let me blow it up so you can fucking see. The Asiatics in the fifth hour of the Book of Gates. They also have the Libyans in the fifth hour in the Book of Gates. Listen to my wording. Are they Libyan? Here we go. Libyans. Let me, like Withdrawal and them say, slow it down for the people in the back. In the fifth hour, in the Book of Gates, they have the Libyans, they have the Asiatics, and they have the Nubians. What they don't have in the fifth hour in the Book of Gates is the Egyptians. It's the Nubians, the Libyans, and the Asiatics that they have depictions of in the fifth hour of the Book of Gates. These are the Nubians. These are the Asiatics. And these are the Libyans. Let's get that fucking straight. And the American University in Cairo, which I'm about to click on right here, bam. The American University in Cairo said so. And every scholar who's been in that tomb says so. And all the scholars who've been in there since they've started this school in that tomb tours and digital display says so. The only people who says different is an ex-Nuwapian, a jockey boy for Dr. York, an ex-rapper, Smash, and a nigga from Baltimore called Bobby Banger. Black folk, do not play yourself with con men and hotep hustlers. Stop playing with these hotep hustlers because they will deceive you. They will lie, cheat, and steal to make Egypt black. They will lie, steal, and cheat to keep your mind boggled and botched up so you can keep thinking ancient Egyptians was black. That means if you keep thinking that, that means you continue to support them. Once you stop thinking that, you no longer support them in their endeavors and in their clothing and the things that they sell and the classes they teach. So income is tied to keeping you dumbed down, racist, in an emotional uproar, not being comfortable being a West Central African. The university puts that thieving mapping project together, and all these scholars and people and Egyptologists from around the world, not just here. You're talking Egyptologists out of China, Japan, Russia, Brazil, America. It says American right here, not just Egyptian. This is an English-speaking university. Brazilian scholars, American scholars, Canadian scholars, African scholars in all 54 countries have been here and agree that those are Nubians. The entire Arab world agree that those are Nubians. The entire European Union and everybody in Europe believes that those are Nubians. Hold on. The fuck is y'all talking about here? The entire planet Earth knows that this picture that Jonathan is showing on the bottom right is a Nubian. No one on any continent disputes that except these conscious community niggas who don't have a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out of. I'm not finished with you niggas. This is just the first half. This is the first motherfucking half. And all I got is a 5-shot revolver, like I told you in the beginning. I came with the military mind for battle scholarship today. I came representing the ancestors today. And we going back to West Central Africa whether you like it or not. You niggas gonna stop this motherfucking circus and sham. It's curtains. What they say in the 50s is curtains for you. I ain't playing with you niggas. This is I bought this when I was in remember I was selling these when I was in Ghana? I bought like at least 40 of these when I was in Ghana, right? Because they make them, right? Trip this. Just a little offbeat story. See, I don't want to be boring like Sean Iniheret. You know what I'm saying? So, I bought this in Ghana, and people remember I was selling these on Facebook. I sold at least about 40 of them. So I bought them in Ghana. Because when I went to Ghana, I bought a big old suitcase. They had like 2 suitcases. And I had 1 big old suitcase just for stuff that I buy and I'm bringing back home, right? So I bought a bunch of these. Wait a minute, hold on. Well, I had 2 sizes. I had a smaller one I was going to show you, but it's in my car. So I bought this, and they make it with these little jagged edges, and they can make them pretty sharp. So sometimes I'll go chop something in the back, right? But the funny thing about it is, when you look at the steel that they make these with, it's just some steel I guess they grind down. But this one don't say it, but on my other ones it do. It'll still have a stamp on it that'll say British Steel. And I just think that's so hilarious. So they be making their little weapons with British steel. I guess it's just some leftover steel pile somewhere that they make these with, but it's British steel. Right, so what was I saying? Wait a minute, let me play my this is another theme phrase of tonight, right?
You want answers? I think I'm entitled. You want answers? I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
Wait a minute.
You want answers? I think I'm entitled. You want answers? I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
Hey, you can't handle the truth. Wait a minute. I'm having a ball spanking these cats tonight. It was 3-on-1. They tried to jump me today. I said, hold on. I'll be back. We're going to do this my way. You can't trap Chief X. You can't ambush Chief X. I stay military minded. A motherfucker ain't gonna touch me. Not without a consequence. You're not gonna touch me without a consequence. You can hear what you want to. Every situation I'm in 24/7, even as I sit here, I'm thinking, in a tactical way every day how I'm going to handle this, and what if this scenario popped up, and what this scenario popped up. If this happened, you tackle a motherfucker. I've been thinking all kind of ways. A motherfucker not going to touch me. Niggas been talking some other shit, too. Okay. Where'd I want to go? I haven't even reading the comments. Hold on, y'all. Let me see what they talking about up in here. Wujaro, I know this is painful right now, bro. You are dying right now. Wujaro, you are feeling very exposed right now. You know what they call it? Some people act like they can get out of being considered a liar. Not with the wise men. See, Wujaro and them fool y'all. See, I understand it's a term. Look it up. Google it after I finish saying this. There's a term called lying by omission. Lie by omission. Lying by omission. So, how did Wujaro blatantly lie and you guys didn't see it? It went over your head. Lying by omission. He omitted to tell you that Diodorus Siculus was talking about sub-Saharan Africans and not Egyptians. Smash Rockwell lied by omission. You know who didn't lie by omission? That's Bobby Banger, Brother Ankh. Because he didn't know either way. He's tricked him goddamn self. He just be rolling with, okay, is it what y'all say? Okay, yeah. I'm in Qatar. I tell you, I got to have a team. Come on, Wujaro. Come on, Smash Rockwell. Come on, y'all, we got him. I need y'all. Come on. Come on, y'all. I need help. Wujaro. Smash. Little old Chief X is too much. I need a team. Matter of fact, this team got in a huddle. They all got in a huddle, right? Okay, this is how we're going to come at Chief X. They in a huddle. What they say, somebody used to say when they pair that, because when the football team's in a huddle, they think the football team is talking about them. So anyway, Ankh, Bobby Banger, Wu Zhao, and Smash Rockwell in a huddle. Okay, we're going to fake them out and show them this Nubian that we know is a Nubian. We're going to tell them it's an Egyptian. And then we're going to put it up under this writing that Diodorus Siculus said. And then their minds are going to think that he's saying woolly, nappy-headed people is the Egyptians. Chief X probably won't figure it out either. Wrong! The wise man knows it all. That's why when we started this video, Smash and them said, this is how it all started. Because Chief X called this picture Photoshop and cropped. But let's just settle what that really was. That's a fucking meme. And you niggas is meme educated. That's why you fail. And have to take this L tonight. Did you think you can get over on me? I'm putting cases on all you motherfuckers. Oh, yeah. Oh! Battle Battle Scholarship. We putting cases on y'all. This was just halftime. Let's go. Let's go. So, what have we found so far? That Diodorus Siculus, the Greek, that he told me to go to the Greek empirical sources since they was there and travel. We showed that Greek was talking about Ethiopians, aka woolly hair people, aka sub-Saharan Africans, aka Nubians. We've come to this conclusion in fact tonight, okay? We've also broke it down what the Greco-Roman said, what the Egyptian says, the depictions, how all of them depict them the same. And we're going to get to that. We come to the understanding that in the Theban mapping project that those are Nubians, Libyans, and Asiatics that they have depicted in the fifth hour in the Book of Gates. The fifth hour in the Book of Gates don't have Egyptians depicted. We've come to the conclusion that they've been red-handed caught in a deceitful web, lying to you guys. We've come to the conclusion that they actually do think you're dumb and gullible. We've come to all kinds of conclusions. Y'all know that edible done kicked in, so I'm on one now. Check this out. Should I do this to him, or should I just save these daggers? I'm going to do it to him. Okay. Let me read the chat first before I go in. I'm way behind. Don't be misled. You got to stop crying, man. You got to just stop crying and admit I was right. You got to stop crying. It's okay. You know what I mean? I came on the link to talk to them in real time. This is a fact. They didn't respect my time and wishes when I came on the live stream. I clearly said in a nice adult respectful manner, I said it's fight night, and I'm actually right in the middle of fight night. There's some exciting fights I've been waiting months for, so I'm a serious fight fan. I said it's fight night, and I don't have a long time, but I wanted to come on here because I've heard this discussion is about me. I'm listening a little bit in between fights, and people are texting me saying come on the stream and this and this and that. So I came on. So when I came on, I said, please, I'm just can we have an adult conversation? I said, it's fight night, and I'm watching fights. And I don't want to go back and forth with three different people. I'd rather just talk to Smash Rockwell because it was his live stream, and he laid out a presentation, and then they came on later. So I wanted to address Smash Rockwell and the presentation he laid out about me and what I've been saying and teaching. Wujaro and Ankh are guests in it. So my thing was to come on and talk to all three of these guys and be interrogated and be ambushed in the middle of me watching the fights. So I respectfully said, please, 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 I said. And everyone knows you can rewind the tapes. I'm in the middle of fight night. Just in the interest of time, because I don't have a lot of time. Can I just speak with Smash Rockwell? I did come on and bend for you guys and come on. You can at least bend for me, I'm trying to say. And just let me deal with Smash and talk to him about his presentation. But they're an emotional wreck, so they got to going crazy and why couldn't we and trying to and they wanted to put on an ambush show, so wise men know that. So then Smash Rockwell said, okay, Chief X. Soon as he said that, then he allowed them to come on in again, and then it blew up. See, it wasn't fair, and I had to get back to my fight. Then people were talking about, oh, well, fight nights is this fucking such and such time. I'm a UFC fan. When I say fight night, I'm talking about mixed martial arts. It started at 1 p.m. It's not like boxing, which you guys are just used to because you're just old, stuck in the mud, motherfucker, where fights start at 7 or 8 at night, which you probably were thinking because you're stuck in a bubble. Now, I'm a UFC fan, and the fight night started at 1 o'clock p.m. all into the night, and there was 14 different fights, okay? But they couldn't respect that. I came on, and now we're here. So I got to do my own thing because it was too much chaos with them. And Smash didn't have any control of his show at that point. And they just didn't respect my wishes. But then, as you know, they flip it around and act like I was tripping. Oh, man. So, where was I at? Part 2. And we're just going to keep this about 30 minutes at the most. So bear with me. Now, about the Nubian, the Ethiopian, the Sub-Saharan, whether you want to go with the Nubian or Nilotic, or them tall ones, or the Masa, whatever. I'm just talking about Sub-Saharan people. Black, kinky-haired, nappy people. That's who the Ethiopians was to the Greco-Roman world. Okay? Okay, so, here we go. Let's talk about the Ethiopian and what Smash Rockwell is to the Ethiopian. Excuse me. Let's talk about what the Ethiopian, who Diodorus Siculus was speaking on, the Sub-Saharan African, and what Smash Rockwell, the Magi, the Bowman, what he really is to the Egyptians. Okay. First of all, when we're talking this vile and wretched thing, that's how the Egyptians seen the Nubians. The Egyptians seen the Nubians as their enemies. And couple thousand years later, when Egypt was in decline, then the 25th dynasty came when it was in political disarray. So they were able to conquer for about 60 years or 90 years, they say. And they started running shit for a minute. A brief minute, okay? So, but they were considered foreign rulers, right? But the Egyptians always seen the Nubians, the Roman and Greeks always seen the Nubians and the Sub-Saharans as inferior and less than people. Let's just, can we just be real about that? Now, Egyptians see Nubians as subjects. This was so. These paintings from the tomb of Huey, the Egyptian governor of Nubia during the reign of what? King Tut, King Tutankhamun. Can y'all see that? Oh, I'm not even sharing my screen. I'm so sorry. Let me go back. I'm so wrong. Okay. My bad. Excuse me. Okay, here we go. Now, the Egyptians see the Nubians as subjects. These paintings from the tomb of Huey, the Egyptian governor of Nubia during the reign of King Tut, pictures of Nubians bringing tribute for who? Egypt's pharaoh. The scene shows a wide variety. Let me just make sure. We don't want to miss shit tonight, okay? Okay, so here we go. Just repeating what I said, and just so you guys can see and read along, okay? Others including, okay, pictures Nubians bringing tribute to Egypt's pharaoh, or paying homage to. The scene shows a wide variety of Nubians. Some are in Egyptian dress, including a woman riding in a cart. Others, including children, appear in Nubian dress. The skin color of the Nubian men range from dark to red to brown to black. Skin tones for some of the women are lighter. Details show that Nubia is foreign, right? So they have these pictures, right? Oops. Okay. A kneeling prince at right in the image below. I'm leading up to something, so bear with me, y'all. Kneeling prince at the right in the image below, leading to the tribute bearers as they're giving tribute. Okay. Leading to the tribute bearers is identified as Hecanefer, prince of Miam, Anibi, a region of northern Nubia. Hecanefer's dress is Nubian, details like the ostrich feather and the panther skin he wears, along with other exotic products, serve to indicate that Nubia is the geographical source of these items. Oh, I forgot to say this. By the way, one second. By the way, hold on. Wait a minute, where's it at? By the way, if you can't see, this is that panther, or they say panther, leopard, cat, same cat family. That leopard skin on these Nubians right here. I just wanted to show that. Okay, so panther skin he wears, along with other exotic products, serve to indicate that Nubia is the geographical source of these items. Exotic goods in Hecanefer's traditional dress emphasize the foreign nature of the Nubians in the Egyptian world. Nubian Prince Hecanefer, blah, 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 blah. Okay. Okay, hold on. Here we go. Let's just read this because it's going to come up in what I'm about to show. The Nubian Prince Hecanefer, an Egyptian style tomb. Despite being shown as a traditional Nubian in the tomb painting of Huey below, Hecanefer's own tomb reveals that he was acculturated into Egyptian religious beliefs and customs. Discovered at Tashka in the northern Nubia during the 1960s, Hecanefer's tomb contained the funerary figurine, whatever the name spells, pictured here at left. The Ushebiti was a traditional Egyptian servant figure placed in a tomb to perform labor for the deceased in the afterworld. So I'm just hinting to something real quick. And here we go. So the Egyptians seen the Nubians as subjects, less than. The Greco-Roman world considered these people kind of vile and wretched, also as did the Egyptians. So let's get to some things. Okay, so let me just make sure I'm on the right one. Okay, here we go. These are some information about Nubians. I just want to read this first paragraph. Oh, no. I'm skipping. I'm out of order. Hold on, y'all. Where was this link at? Oh, so let me just show you. And this is just some facts and details about Nubia. A nice little article with some interesting facts. Same shit I've been saying, but I just wanted to show you. Okay? So, says, can you guys see this? Nubians and Egyptians. So I want to read what I have highlighted. The Egyptian often referred to the Nubians as vile, miserable, and wretched. Pharaohs made images of Nubians on their footstool so they could crush them with their sandals. So we know King Tut's sandals show Nubians on the bottom of them like he's stepping on them and crushing them. Because to them, they were vile and wretched and their enemy. This is who Diodorus Siculus was talking about, okay? Nubians on their footstools so they can crush them with their sandals. Fortresses were built to hold off Nubians, okay? The pharaoh Seneferu recorded a great victory against the Nubians in 2600 BC, and he bragged 7,000 Nubians and 200,000 domesticated animals were captured. Pepi I and Thutmose II conquered the Nubians. It goes on to say, this lady Karen Rosenberg wrote in the New York Times, Egypt's assimilation of Nubia into its empire prompted some political niceties. The name Cush remained, but the adjective vile was dropped. The Egyptian governor of Nubia was called the king's son of Cush. The Egyptian cult of Amun was modified to suggest Nubia's holy mountain, Gebel Barka, as that deity's birthplace, for it is part of Nubia adopted some Egyptian dress styles and burial customs, and even after conquering Egypt. One was the use of the pyramid. Earlier Nubian rulers had been entombed in great mounds. Another was addition of Shabbatis, small figurines, throughout to work on behalf of the deceased in the underworld. Okay, so Nubians built pyramids later. Everything they did, they were influenced to do by the Egyptians, the people who didn't have nappy hair, thick lips, and flat nose. Okay, early Nubian history, and the first Nubian culture, unglamorously dubbed the A group by Harvard archaeologist George Weiner in the 1920s, emerged around 3800 BC. Little is known about it other than it was a rival of pre-dynastic Egypt, and it produced lovely eggshell potteries named after thin walls with red and white geometric patterns that resemble weaving around 2800 BC. Reference to blah, blah, blah. Okay. Aggressions by Egypt in the third millennium forced the A group into a remote area above the what? Second cataract. A cataract is a barrier. Could be a waterfall or just rocks or some waters that's unable to be navigated through. Okay? Aggressions by Egypt in the third millennium forced the A group into a remote area above the second cataract around 2300 BC. A pair of new cultures sprang up. One of them, centered in Lower Nubia and known as the C group, produced elaborate tombs, raised cattle, worshiped gods in a cattle cult. I don't know if you guys remember the cattle cult video that I did a couple months ago. So if you follow me, you're kind of piecing this together, okay? And flourished during a 400-year period with peace with the Egyptians. Around 1900 BC, Egyptian armies built a colossal series of fortresses around the second cataract, meaning they went down past Aswan, where kind of is the southern part of Egypt, where they really kind of getting darker. And that's where the first cataract is, okay? Now, they pushed down to the second cataract and used them to thrust deep into Nubia, perhaps as part of an effort to get a hold of Nubia's gold mines, okay? The Nubians had that gold that Egyptians was pimping them for, okay? So I'm just trying to show this just to lead up to something, okay? Here we go. These are Nubians on the wall in Egypt, okay? There's no doubt about it. You see the white thing around their neck? People never really told you that's a rope around their neck and that they're bound. While in a procession, paying homage to King Tut. And King Tut's biological origins is West Asia. I just did a video. King Tut is of Caucasian descent. We've proved this. Nubians, right here, are in a procession Some are bound with rope on their neck, bowing down, prostrating, bucking, bending knees in honor and worship of a Caucasian Egyptian named King Tut, whose DNA is RB1 NK. Go look it up. Oh, we talking tonight. They didn't tell you that, huh? Okay. Tomb TT4 is in the Theban necropolis. This is one of very few tombs datable with certainty to the reign of Tutankhamun. The owner is called Amenhotep, but prefers to be called the most familiar diminutive of Huey. He undertakes the very important function of King's son of Cush, overseer, boss man of the southern countries, Nubia. In other words, he is a viceroy in Nubia. The Tomb of Huey is one of our major sources for understanding the functions of a viceroy. The scenes showing presentation of the tribute of the sovereign are exceptional examples of such work and created the reputation of this monument. Another interesting point is the mixture between classical elements and others that recall the Amarna period, which just had ended. Now, we're about to put some shit together. Okay, so ride with me. Okay, so let's just read this. Egypt and Nubia in the 18th dynasty, right? We're talking about Nubians, the same people this source Siculus was talking about, the Ethiopians, the flat-nosed, kinky-haired, woolly people that we've been talking about and proved all throughout this. This is who we're talking about. And the Egyptians, the people who didn't have all that. Okay? We will discuss much about Nubia in the pages that follow, so an introduction to the subject seems useful. At the beginning of the 18th dynasty, once the Hyksos invaders were driven from the north, Amenhotep I decided to extend a grasp all over Nubia and make it, as we would say today, a colony. Amenhotep went to bang on Nubians. The Egyptian, who is different than the Nubian, went to make a Nubian colony. A people, not themselves, another people. Einstein, okay? Okay, where did I leave off? The Hyksos invaders were driven from the north. Amenhotep I decided to extend his grasp all over Nubia and make it, as we would say today, a colony. By removing the ancient kingdom of Kush, okay, the new province, which the Egyptians called Tasseti, the country of the bow, because of the characteristic weapon used by its inhabitants, is directly administered by Egyptian officials under the authority of what we call a viceroy, which Egyptians designated as the king's son of Cush, overseer of the southern countries. He is assisted in his task by a chief of the archers of Cush. Archers, bow, 9 bows, the Magi, and two lieutenant generals generals, one of the north, Wawat, Lower Nubia, the other for the south, Kush itself, Upper Nubia. The Egyptians certainly distinguished Lower Nubia, the country of Wawat, as being between the first cataract, Aswan, and the second cataract, and then Upper Nubia. The country of Kush, extending from the second cataract until at least the fourth. Egyptian domination stops there. They dominated them niggas all the way to the second cataract. The Egyptians did. And the cataracts are borders, preventing enemies, trying to prevent foreign rulership, foreign domination, or any kind of foreign bullshit and fuckery. Thus, the territory under the responsibility of Huey extends from Nekeb unto Nasutwe to an open point in a place called Kalroy. Nubia had a very important place in the economy of Imperial Egypt. Listen, Nubia had a very important place in the economy of Imperial Egypt, as it was main gold provider. Like, get my gold, nigga. We need some of that shit. We're going to do business. Yeah, we're going to chit-chat. We're going to smoke a joint. You know what I mean? We're going to drink a beer, nigga. We're going to do a little business. But know your place is basically what's happening. Okay? It was known as a gold provider, especially from the country of Wawat. Nubia was also what? A slave labor reservoir. Say that again, Chief X. Nubia was also a slave labor reservoir and provided valued archers for the army and for police troops. The Magi warriors, who was basically laborers taking bullets for Egyptians. Frontline niggas taking bullets. The 9 bows in the Egyptian military. I've taught this. I've never said there was no black people in Egypt. Yes, there were black people in Egypt. That wasn't my claim. My claim is black people ain't Egyptians. I knew they were doing police work and taking bullets and fighting in the military for the Egyptians, a separate people. They had to be in Egypt to do that. That's not my claim. You see? You see how they played y'all? Okay. So these valued archers, they were valued. Yeah, of course. If they were valuable to the Egyptians, I'm sure they got treated right. So Jonathan is proud to be a Magi archer. He's proud to represent. They placed him above other niggas. And made him the police. Jonathan Owen is the police in ancient Egypt. And guess who it was policing? Oh, man. Battle scholarship, huh? Y'all really wanted this? Okay. Valued archers for the army and for the police troops. The tribes of Kush had expressive names. The Scarred. You know how they cut shit and scarred? I don't know if it's saying scarred or scared, but I think it's scarred. braid carriers, those who dress in skins, them leopard skins and shit, and panther skins, the Nahisu, face burned, it says. Now, I'm not sure about that translation. I'm just reading and applying my common sense science. There we go, that face burn again, that Ethiopian, that sub-Saharan African, that nappy woolly-haired people that everyone recognized. But in 2022, you niggas talking about nobody recognized race. We all one. We are the world and shit. Black, nobody recognized that in Egypt times, and it's just a social construct. And but everywhere I'm reading, they recognizing it, seems like. Let's read it again. Tribes of Cush had expressive names: the scared, braid carriers, those who dressed in skins, the Nahisu, face burned, curly hair. Uh-oh. Nappy hair? Kinky hair? If the Nubian elites, they talking about the Nubian elites, are subservient to Egypt, this is not the case with the tribes and all tribes, with the tribes that inhabited these regions, which rebelled regularly against colonial rule of Egypt. Why? Because Egypt was like its colonial masters, getting gold and what else? Using them as a reservoir slave labor. Egypt, this is not the case with tribes inhabiting Egypt, which rebelled regularly against colonial rule in Egypt and endangered its supply of precious metals. Egypt must therefore put down these revolts by what? By police or military expeditions. Guess who was part of police and military expeditions? Magi. Them arrow shooting motherfuckers. For their colonial masters. Look, we're going to say the prisoners taken at that time or during raids were sent as slave labor to work in Egypt. Here go King Tut's shoes on my right here. It's not a clear picture, but we'll get to that. Y'all seen it before. And on the bottom of these sandals is right here. Okay, here we go. And on the bottom of these sandals is what? A Nubian tied up and bound by next to an Asiatic who was his other enemy. And they don't tie up and bound people unless they're going to use them for something. And above his head is these what? 9 bows on the right. I wish I could make this bigger, but I'm not that computer. Maybe, hold on. Damn, there we go. Oops, did it again. Bam. And above this Nubian head is like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Wait a minute, it's not 9 bows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I don't know the subject that much, but it's some fucking bows above his head. And these are Nubian and Asiatics who were the enemies of Egypt. And guess where these were found? With King Tut. They're his. They are the Caucasian King Tut sandals. Woo. Y'all got to answer to this. Y'all got to answer to this. But Chief X don't know nothing. Don't go into hiding after this. Address this shit. The prisoners taken at that time or during raids were sent as slave labor to work in Egypt. Only in the regions under direct Egyptian rule. Nubia and Retinue do provide prisoners and slaves. This was never the case, for example, with the Keftiu, the Aegeans. Let's read that again. It says, only in the regions under direct Egyptian rule, Nubia and Retinue, whatever that is, do provide prisoners and slaves. Nubians providing prisoners and slaves, right? You know, Africans provided prisoners and slaves all the time. It was just a lifestyle. This was never the case, for example, with Aegeans. Well, who the hell is Aegeans, Chief X? Oh. Mediterranean people. Oh, really? It was different with the Mediterranean folk and around and other invaders or they didn't do that with them like that. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Wait a minute. Oh, boy. Oh, boy, this is child abuse. This is child abuse. They about to arrest me and take me to jail for child abuse. I done brutally murdered the Amin-Ra squad. And it's been a massacre. I left blood everywhere. Sidewalk is chalked. It's been too much talking and not enough sidewalk chalking. These niggas is in the street laid with chalk around them right now. Yellow tape is every motherfucking where right now. There's been an intellectual homicide. And Chief X is guilty of these heinous crimes against the poor Amin-Ra squad. An ex-Nuwapian who was a jockey boy for the biggest child molestation case in the history of the United States of America. That's a fact. He'll tell you that's the truth. And a rapper from the Bay where Too Short is, named Smash Rockwell, who I like. But this is just the reality. And a nigga named Bobby Banger from Baltimore, who put the pipe down, the crack pipe down, in 2000. I stopped in 1992. Oh, man. Oh, man, this is wrong of me to do to these niggas. But I kept warning them. I've told you niggas for years who I was. And that's just who I was then and who I am now. What did Chief X tell you he was? I'm Chief X, the God Best reincarnated. The God Best was an outside deity that came into Egypt. The Bible says Jesus is coming back like a thief in the night, along with the ancestors Jesus, God, the God best, Jesus was coming back like a thief in the night. Meaning, he's here and he's there and he's everywhere and you don't even know. He's creeping and in the midst and amongst the people working his magic and the people don't even know. He's peeping game, checking out the players and hustlers and pimps and pedophiles and frauds and scammers and Afrocentrics and all this old shit. And he's just peeping game, checking it out and taking notes and shit. He came like a thief in the night, meaning you didn't know he was there. He creeped and snuck up amongst you and took notes and sat back and watched before he laid down the sickle of death. Isn't that just what Bess is? Bess is the wise one. That's who the fuck I am, the God Bess. Reincarnated. I'm reincarnated and I'm here amongst you. You thought I was playing? It was just some bullshit jive name and game and shit. I'm the one the Bible spoke of that was to come back in the last days of the conscious community. These are the last days. The Hotep hustle is ending. You know what I mean? Them mansions, them many mansions is damn near built. Because we remodeling this bullshit. And I'm preparing many mansions. The carpenter's son. We having church. The comforter has come. The comforter has come. We having church. It's dead bodies on the floor. We got to, you know what, wish them well in the afterlife. But in this life, the conscious community has been remodeled. And we coming back home. We coming back home, ancestor. Just the way a real Pan-African wished it to be. A network. So Chief X had to come with the 5-shot revolver on the motherfucking hip. Laying down the law. Laying down the sickle of death. Y'all know that edible done kicked in. I'm clowning. Oh, man. We having fun tonight. Hey. Ooh-wee. Hold on. What you talking about, Wujah, in the chat? What's up? Information Man Show. What's happening, kinfolk? You see, I got the hat. I had to bring the military with me because this was battle scholarship tonight. This ain't just no. This was battle scholarship tonight. See, I can't be cut off when I do my own thing. I can just do my own thing and razzle dazzle. I ain't got to come on another nigga show and be ambushed and talked over and insulted and shit. I can lay down the law right here. Because ain't no one controls the God Bess that reincarnated here. Oh, I'm having fun tonight slaying cats. Slaying cats, speaking of cats. The God's Best homegirl, sweetheart, lover was Bastet. Represented the cat. You know what I mean? I always get the cat. It's always been that way. Why must I chase the cat? I've been chasing the cat, Chief X and Bastet. Chasing the cat. It's you niggas ain't chasing no cat. You been listening all night information, man. I ain't been reading no comments. I just been in rare form, boy. They done irked my ire. Plus that edible kicked in. Oh, I'm in rare form right now. You should have never called my name. You want the link, Wu Zhao? I bet you do. How can I make this shit go away? What Chief X is saying? Oh my God, I need the link. Let me stop him. You won't stop this. You won't stop this show. Not today. I got to reveal. You ain't gonna throw me off track with that magic you be working, Wu Zhao. Wu Zhao, you be working some magic. I got to tell you, bro. I used to say Wu Zhao was the sharpest motherfucking teacher. Wu Zhao had me caught up. I've been trying to figure out Wu Zhao for the longest. On my mama. Wu Zhao Iriramani has been the hardest puzzle to put together in the conscious community in my life. I'm telling you, he is slick. See, Wu Zhao is slicker than Asar. Quiet as kept. Wu Zhao was twice as smart as Asar. Quiet as kept. Wu Zhao is a sharp motherfucking knife in the drawer. See, I don't hate on the motherfucker. I give him prop. Wu Zhao is sharp. That motherfucker is. Wu Zhao is a wordsmith. He will have you fumbling. He will make you put yourself in a trap by lining up a triple question on. And you guys have no. I'll be sitting back watching Wu Zhao work. I said Wu Zhao's about to work this motherfucker right here. I'm just sitting here with my wise ass. I'm just watching for years. I said, let me watch Wu Zhao's about to work this motherfucker. He ain't gonna know where Wu Zhao was coming or going from. And Wu Zhao just be intellectually working motherfuckers. And I sit back and watch. See, I'm up here. Everybody ain't on the same level. Let's just keep this shit motherfucking real. Everybody is not on the same mental level. People haven't had the same experiences in life. Most people ain't been through the third of the things I've been through and seen and done in life. I'm on this level, watching people on this level, and watching people on this level fool people on this level as I'm just observing it all. It's like when you 10 years old, you look back and say, when I was 5, I was just a little dumb motherfucker. I didn't know shit. Then when you get 15, you look back and understand, hey, when I was 10, I thought I knew shit. I didn't know a motherfucking thing. Then when you're 20, you look back at when you was 15 and say, I was just a dumb young teen. I didn't know shit. You hit 30, you say, when I was in my 20s, boy, I thought I knew everything. Boy, I thought I was smarter than my mommy and daddy. And it just goes on, and when you hit 40, you'll sit back and look at when I was 30, I thought I was about to get over the hump. I didn't know what I know now. So, like, just think when you hit 50, it keeps going and going. So, I'm looking at a lot of you 20 and 30-year-olds, like, up here and just looking at you. The same as you was looking down on yourself when you're 30 and then when you're 20. So, I'm above you niggas. We're not on the same level. So I can see through Wu Zhao when you can't see through Wu Zhao. Understand that. But Wu Zhao is sharp in the motherfucker. He's a hard egg to crack, but I got his ass now. 2022, I'm going to be on Wu Zhao and Asar's ass. Everybody else is lightweight. Ankh is lightweight. I done spanked Jabari in an actual debate. Polite, Bashir, Lord Abba, the Hebrew, any of the top dogs. I've been spanking the Amin Ra squad, the whole intellectual squad all year long. I'm spanking them still today. You know what I mean? Light work. But let me focus on y'all two cult leaders. All right, so we'll be going, Chief X. Let's do this. Okay, where was I? Okay, let's go to. Okay, so when they're talking about. Okay, here I left off with. This was never the case, for the example, with the Keftiu, the agents, that the Mediterranean people or whatever, which can be verified, and they give you the tomb number. You can click on it. Okay, but I don't want to go here. Hold on. Okay. So let's just go through this. So basically, we've discovered that Smash Rockwell represents the police and the bows and the army and the little flunky for the Egyptian. And you know, here are some Nubians, and these are the shoes and King Tut's, the Caucasians, tomb. Here goes some of the Nubians bound up and shit. Okay. Subjects, like it said. Subjects. Enemies. Those who they considered vile and wretched. Black folk with nappy woolly hair. Okay. So, which can be verified in the tomb such and such. On King Tut, on Tutankhamun's footwear, the two bound prisoners are an Asiatic and a Nubian. Just in case you blind as a motherfucking bat. Okay. Okay. On King Tut's footwear, the two bound prisoners are an Asiatic and a Nubian. What are you to the Egyptian in these pictures? A bound prisoner, a subject. That's what the Asiatic and the Nubian was on these sandals in King Tut's, the Caucasian's tomb. Because King Tut is from West Asia, his ancestral biological bloodline. That's where his genetics come from. West Asians are Caucasians in physical anthropology. But Chief X don't know nothing. Okay, so here we go. They are representative of the what? 9 bows. The Magi archers. And the traditional enemies of Egypt. Yeah, black folk was enemies of Egypt. So when I made the video, Egyptians hated black folk. It was fucking on point. You just didn't get it at that time. But I'm gonna force it down your throat, and you'll get it this time. The general rule in Egyptian art is to portray foreign people realistically or naturalistically. This rule is often pushed to a caricature in the Amarna period. So remember me and Wujaro, when we was kind of cool at a point, we both did a video together, and we were saying more than likely these pictures of the way they drew Nubians would be a little bit of exaggerations, right? They may not have looked like this. Maybe they exaggerated it, and they was like caricatures, like they did in the cartoons when they was clowning black folk with big lips in the cartoons and make their lips and nose big and shit. That's what they were doing on some of the artwork in the Amarna period. And me and Wujaro spoke on that. Remember Wujaro? It's on my timeline. So, these, to put basically, so it's a caricature, some of the artwork, right? In the Amarna period. They were clowning them. If they respected them or thought they were just some one of us kind of people, they wouldn't be clowning them. Because they would be them. They would be the same people. Okay? This is just like that common sense science. Okay? In the Amarna period. Okay. As seen in the surface chapel of General Horam at Saqqara, okay? Or on this motto intended for sculptures found on the site of Armana and now preserved in the Metropolitan Museum. Low brow, strong brow, flat nose, whose base is sunk, accentuated wrinkles, thick lips, with a mouth ajar, your hanging lip is what it's saying. With your mouth ajar means your hanging lip, and your beady eyes. It reflects the superior and what? And scornful gaze of the Egyptians of the period over anything that does not belong to the two lands. Basically, it's saying they had a scornful gaze on Nubians because you guys did not belong to the two lands, which are Upper and Lower Egypt. You belong southern. You belong in Nubia, Kush. You don't belong to the two lands. So they had a scornful gaze about you, about the kinky-haired people, who they had natural borders to protect themselves with, from you. Not you, but from the Ethiopians or the nappy-haired people. Okay? I can't make this shit more plainer. Y'all just gonna have to answer this. Okay, so that anything that don't belong to the two lands, Nubian people. In the TT, unless you were just doing business or hanging out or married or somebody was fucking, I mean, you know, is exceptions to the rule, but just in general, you guys didn't belong to the lands. Okay, but they did do business with you. In the TT41 is struck by the difference, clearly visible on the, it is giving you the chart to see. I don't want to click on it and mess this up. Between the Nubian chiefs, frankly Negroid, they're saying, and the Egyptianized sons of notables. But why is a perfectly Egyptianized character like Hecanefer, child of the cap, sandal bearer of the king, carrying a nigga sandals and shit, of the king, great one of the Mayam, equals Aniba, bearer of the ceremonial chair of the lord of the two lands, not represented as an Egyptian. I think that while represent, okay, I don't want to go through all this. Let me move on. Okay, but let me just finish it. I think that while presenting the tribute, because we're talking about tribute, they're in a procession giving tribute. While presenting the tribute, Henecafer was in the function of a Nubian chief, and thus represented in a stereotyped way, right? In the decoration, the skin color differences between black and dark brown, more or less, are more related to the desire of artists to differentiate the superimposed characters than to show the heterogeneity of Nubian tribes. Okay, so what this is basically is someone who is kind of breaking down the tomb of Hui, the artwork and all the meaning and what it really deeply means and the interpretations of it. So we're going over that, okay? Let's go to page 3. Okay. Here are the Nubians, okay? I've come to understand the white around their neck with the strap that's going down as a rope, and they're bound and they're tied up. I'm not sure why no Afrocentric hasn't taught that in this procession. They have to know if I'm just learning. I could be wrong, so let me not just state that as a fact, but I'm just stating that this white thing around their neck and the white strap hanging down in the middle is a rope that they're bound with. And those are prisoners. So that would be considered lying by omission. They fail to omit this part to give clarity. Okay, but here we go. This is talking about tribute scenes. Let's just scroll on down. See, I was talking about Lepsius, right? So here's Lepsius, since you want to play. So all these people, let's get to the bottom line. There, all these Nubians are walking in procession to give honor, bow down, worship, pay homage to this character on the right, the Egyptian, King Tut, the Caucasian. All these Nubians on the left in the procession are paying honor to the king who's being fanned, the Caucasian who doesn't have the flat nose and thick lips and woolly hair. Let's get that straight. Oh, there's bodies everywhere right now. Okay? So, that's who the Nubians were given honor to. What Nubians? Okay. The copies made by Lepsius is allowed reconstruction of almost all of the original wall. Okay. The scene is captioned. Coming from Cush with all the goodly tribute consisting of all the choicest and best of southern lands, right? They're coming from Cush, Nubia, with all the goodly tribute consisting of all the choicest and the best in the southern lands. All the goods, the gold, the ostrich feathers, and whatever else they had to bring and pay tribute with. All the choicest and best of the southern lands, Nubia, landing at the southern city by the king's son of Cush, Hui. He is standing facing north. He holds a scepter in his cane. Behind him, the ships are represented by pairs of them moored to the dock. On both of the upper registers, the sumptuous ships for Viceroy and his retinue. I don't want to click on that. The bottom four, they are barges overloaded with Nubian products. So a lot of barges and boats, it's saying right here, loaded with Nubian products and goods from Nubia and gold and shit. And here's the families and is what it's saying. Okay. Let's just keep going on. This register right here shows boats of Nubians and Nubian captives. Ostrich feathers stuck in their hair are shown seated on the roof of cabins. Their hands are shackled and their necks are tied by white ropes. So it's saying there's Nubians and Nubian captives on these boats and barges, right? Which there is, okay? Okay? Primaries, motherfucker. These ships are much simpler without decorations. Registers 3 and 5 show transport of livestock. So the cows and stuff we've seen and the transport of livestock you see in this photo right here. Let me make it big. On my right here. And the Nubians and Nubian slaves and stuff on the vessels. Behind him, the ships represented by pairs. Okay, I'm through with that one. Okay, both ships are moored at the bow and stern and gangways have been run out. Their masts have been removed, but the steer's oars are still in place. The only living beings remaining on board are the horses in their stalls and a sailor who is leaning over the side of it drawing up water. On the roof of the cabin, but it certainly was not the real place, we see what looks like a large white bags, first ship, or yellow, second ship, probably containing gold tribute that Huey would have wanted to keep under his direct supervision. Okay, so this is just explaining and breaking down the artwork, right? And this is just a recreation, right, of King Tut, who they're paying tribute to. King Tut is not a Nubian, he is an Egyptian. And this is a recreation. Homage of the Nubians. This theme right here. Okay, keep this picture in mind. Homage of the Nubian chiefs. This theme occupies the three upper registers. The great ones of Nubia who came in person stand in front, worshiping Pharaoh in his representative. They come from three different regions, and those regions are Lower Nubia, Wawat, Upper Nubia, Kush, and a province south of Kush. They are greeted by Huey, who is holding a large fan, embodying his function as a fan bearer to the king. The fan bearer to the king. Okay? They are greeted by who? Okay. These dignitaries are represented with marked Negroid features, rings in their ears, and two ostrich feathers held together by headband. Right there. He's prostrated, bending the knee, bucking on their knees, paying homage, giving honor to the Pharaoh, the Caucasian King Tut. A lot of the slaves were from the bowmen and 9 arrows and archmen. Turncoats. The first delegation is led by the chieftain of Wawat. So Lower Nubia, headed by the prince. Hold on, did I read the? Okay, we'll finish reading. The first delegation is led by the chieftains of Wawat. So Lower Nubia, headed by the prince of Mayam, Hanekefer. Mayam is the current Aniba, presented as a Nubian. What are they talking about here? Okay, that's what he's talking about right here, too. These are Nubians paying homage in the procession. The first delegation, okay, I read that. Hanekefer, a perfectly Egyptian name, is a child of the Cap. Okay. And so he grew up in the court of Egypt, near the sovereign, to whom he was devoted. His tomb, in perfectly Egyptian style, was found at Aniba, and he is there represented with Egyptian features. Therefore, not too much value should be placed upon these forms of representation. I think that in TT40 they explain it somewhere at work. Hanekefer appears in his function of a Nubian chef and presented as such, while elsewhere he appears in his function as an Egyptian dignitary. Okay, so some Egyptians were moved on up and became special. And they're talking about colonial acculturation, okay, of the colonial masters and Nubians acculturating into the society. All this stuff is explained. Should I just go through this and read all this, or have I made my point? Okay, so two men barefoot, and I think they're talking about this image here. Okay, and these guys are barefoot, carrying rings and gold and stuff like that. Okay, two men barefoot carrying trays of rings and gold dust, as well as animal skins and giraffe tails over their arms, stand alongside a chariot. It is pulled by 2 oxen with horns, harnessed in a strange yoke and guided by a herdsman. Beside the driver stands a second Nubian princess who has a parasol in ostrich feathers above her that seem attached to her modius. Parasol is in Nubia a symbol of high social rank.
So some Nubians had some social rank over other Nubians, I guess is what it's saying. Gardner has described the representation as perhaps the strangest and most picturesque single figure to be found in the entire necropolis. The authenticity of the scene is reinforced by the rich harness of the oxen, animals that have social life, religious ceremony, importance in the Nubian culture. It is not known if the princess is destined for the pharaoh's harem, which is common assumption, or if she is one of the tributaries. So, I guess they had their sex objects that may have been Nubian, you know? That's what I've took from that. Now come 5 Nubian captives wearing a leather loincloth from which hangs a tail. They have a bound hands in a rope which serves as a halter, encircles their necks. Another example of similar scene in the Amarna tomb. Now, here we go. This photo. They're saying they have ropes on their necks. I'm not, that well studied on it, but this is what's said. In that they're bound. Now, which are 5 Nubian captives. They speak of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And they call them Nubian captives. Okay? Now, come 5 Nubian captives wearing a leather loincloth from which hangs a tail. They have bound hands and a rope which serves as a halter, encircles their necks. Another example of similar scene in the Amarna tomb of Mary. Let's see what that says. Looks like. Oh. Somebody is bound with a rope on their neck. Finally, 2 women complete the register. The first has marked negroid features, and her pendulous breast falls on a protruding belly. She holds in her right hand, a child, and carries a second in a basket on her back. It is a child on the back. I never noticed that. Wait a minute. And 2 other children she's holding their hands. I think that might be in this photo. No, but it's in other photos. You can see those 2 kids behind her. Okay. Here are the heads of the country of Cush, Nubia, who bow before Pharaoh. He's bowing. They are bowing before Pharaoh. They are bowing before Pharaoh. They are not Pharaoh. I mean, how can we make this any more plain and simple? It's getting late, so let me kind of wrap this up. 2 men barefoot, they talking about this position, carrying trays of rings and gold dust as animal skin. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, so they're Nubians in a procession, giving honor to the Caucasian King Tut, the non-nappy person, the Pharaoh, the Egyptian. And that's just what it is. I mean, I don't know what else to tell you guys. We broke it all down. We slowed it all the way down. And these are the Nubians. Don't let them lie to you. We didn't get to, or should I cover, the Remich. When the Remich has in the on the 5th hour in the Book of Gates, and it's speaking of mankind when it's written there, or it's an error, which most people say, but they don't mean Remich as in the Egyptian. They just mean the people. So, because when you look up Remit, right, right here, if you can see, every time you look at the definition, all you see is human being, or person. Okay? It says nothing about Egyptian. So Remit alone, just RMT, means people, a person. It doesn't mean Egyptians or people of Egypt or people of Kemet unless it's in KMT after it. And that's just what I see everywhere. People, humanity. It doesn't say anything about Egyptian. This is what Remit means. I'm not making this up. This is just what is written by the scholars. Okay? So when you click on this one, they give some more definition. People. Humanity. It don't say nothing about Egyptian. Okay? Now, okay, there we go. Let's go here real quick. So when it's written out, usually, when it means Egyptian, you will usually always see usually, from what I understand, and I have very limited knowledge of this. So don't, this is not my debate either. Just some extra side shit I'm trying to understand. It will usually say RMT in KMT next to it, not just Remit alone. So they're telling you it means Egyptians or people of Egypt or people of Kemet if it has RMT in KMT, like I have highlighted both times. But whenever you see the RMT alone, then it just means people or mankind. So if this they're claiming says Remit, it has to be saying in this sense, in this context, mankind. Or it's an anomaly, they say, or error. But every scholar on earth tells you these are Nubians. Okay? We're all clear. So, let me just read check. Y'all having all kind of conversations. I can't even catch up. It's several trolls be coming here. People are mad. It's this bot shit up in here. That be in everybody's chat. Oh, they done ran. Yeah, feelings is hurt tonight. Yeah, I made this so simple. What can you say? But man, it's blood everywhere. Pseudos is crying. Spears is flying. Boom, daggered self. I'll run this shit. I'm trying to figure how you guys gonna wiggle out of this. How you gonna wiggle out of being deceitful, intentional to black folk, and lying by omission, and not letting folk know that Diodorus Siculus is talking about sub-Saharan Africans. The Ethiopian. That's what the Greeks considered the Ethiopian, sub-Saharan Africans. Black folk, woolly hair folk. And y'all tried to play that like that was an Egyptian. So we can think the Egyptian was the black, woolly haired, kinky folk. That was wrong of y'all to do that. When y'all came out the huddle, you should have been ashamed. Y'all thought you seen a hole up the middle. Smash seen the hole. Remember, Smash was trying to play quarterback, right? And Wajaro was running back. And Smash handed off to Wajaro. And Wajaro grabbed that ball. And Wajaro tried to go up the middle. And the guy best, Chief X, was right there as a middle linebacker. Smacked the life out his ass. Don't try to come up the middle. You know what I'm saying, man? Straight middle linebacker at his ass. So you guys need to go to these men and ask them why are they deceiving you. We can't take your word, over every Egyptian scholar with a PhD in Canada, in America, in Mexico, in all of Brazil, as big as it is, in all of China, in all of Japan, in all of Europe, in all of Australia. Every scholar on earth agree that those are Nubians in that digital museum that we seen, and they said so, and it's never been challenged or been debunked. And you niggas believe these three liars who brainwashed you. I'm your help. I'm out.